Hi, my name is Sherry Clower, and today we'll explore a policy skill for the social worker, making a persuasive presentation. So here's our agenda for the next 6 minutes. First, we'll discuss why persuasive presentations even matter to the social worker. We'll explore some best practices of visual presentations, and we'll learn a little bit about the psychology of persuasion. So, a persuasive visual presentation seeks to share knowledge and win over hearts and minds to support an idea. When presentations are given with a visual supplement, such as PowerPoint slides or a Canva video, the presenter can share more information and keep the audience engaged through multiple senses, making it a little bit more likely they will be able to stay mindful and focused on the topic at hand. A policy advocate may encounter many situations that require a persuasive presentation. For example, when advocating for a service agency to make changes in the culture to serve their clients better. When advocating at a local, state, or federal government level for policies that would improve the quality of life for the clients and the communities that we serve. And finally, when presenting research findings or speaking at a professional conference. For example, a social worker, in this case, we'll call him Eric, may realize his agency is not promoting an anti-racist culture. In order to adhere to the NASW Code of Ethics for social justice and dignity and worth of the person, Eric decides to gather data on why an anti-racist culture matters and advocate for new organizational policy to promote anti-racism. Eric would need to present this to his management team, maybe even a board of directors. A visual presentation could help educate his audience clearly and concisely. Eric is more likely to gain their respect and approval to move forward with his proposed changes. So now let's talk about some best practices of visual presentations. When giving a presentation, every detail matters to engage the audience. The presenter must carefully plan the visual and auditory elements of a persuasive presentation. Readability in terms of font and language are important considerations for diverse audiences. A clear and organized message helps the participant follow along and comprehend the presenter's message. And finally, venue accessibility for people with visual, hearing, and mobility impairments should always be considered. We want everyone to have access to our important message. Moving on to professionalism. So removing barriers such as poor grammar and spelling show preparation and effort. Choose clothing that's appropriate for your audience. And be conscious of the messages your face and body are sending. Ask yourself if they're consistent and appropriate for the tone of your message. These days, so many of our presentations are given virtually. So let's talk about some specifics in the virtual environment. Ensuring proper lighting and a quality microphone increase accessibility and engagement. Minimizing distractions such as intermittent Wi-Fi, background noises, and visual clutter are really important. And perhaps most importantly, make eye contact and ensure the camera is level to your face and focused on you. The audience came to see and hear your message. Make it easy for them. Now, moving on to the psychology of persuasion, and I will admit this is a vast topic that we cannot tackle in 6 minutes, but I do have a few pro tips for you to support the efficacy of your presentation. 1, know your material. Relying on notes, stumbling with filler words, and struggling to answer questions rely poorly on you as a speaker and could impact how the audience engages with you and how they judge your credibility. Engage your participants. We've all had that experience where our minds wander and daydream during a boring presentation. Draw your participants into the discussion. Do some polls, ask some questions, tell them a story rather than list facts. Share a joke or a personal anecdote. You could even come up with a catchphrase or an acronym to help improve memory even after the presentation is complete. Know your audience and speak to them. This can have a lot of implications, from knowing how educated they are on a subject, even to their political leanings. The more you know, the more you can tailor your message and your language to avoid alienating your audience. So in the end, this might seem like a lot of information, but when you go 8 for policy change, you can't go wrong. Just remember, A, be accessible. P, be professional. E, be engaging, and you will win the audience over every time. For even more information, be sure to see the supplemental handout that comes along with this presentation. There are even more details on how to make your presentation accessible, professional, and engaging. And I thank you for your time today.